Hi, I'm Liv Heavenly.
This is producer Whtnoize.
And we just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
You know I'm loving you all day, all the way, the long way, the strong way.
All right, today we got Liv Heavenly jumping off the porch with us today.
Hi, how you doing?
How you feeling?
I'm well. It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. So tell us what you out here working on in Atlanta.
Honestly, I'm just working on as much stuff as I can, whether it be music. I'm very new to the scene, so I'm trying to build up my catalog. Since I've moved down here almost a year ago, I've been working alongside my producer, Whtnoize, right here.
What's going on with your
Super dope. We've been making a lot of magic together, so been working with him, making some new tracks and singles. Been working on just different type of creative content, whether it be like music videos or just fun things to have on my page. But main thing I really am trying to focus on is music and just getting as much good music out there as possible.
For sure. So for those who wouldn't know, how would you describe life back at home in Detroit?
Honestly, I love Detroit. You know, like it's full of so much life and so much creativity. You know, it's Motown, so the music scene there is crazy. And once I got introduced to it, it was very inspiring to me, and is the reason why I decided to do music today. You know, I've always loved to sing, but I always was a little bit too shy to pursue it because I thought like I wasn't good enough, or I didn't think it was realistic. And then, you know, I had some friends and people in my life that kind of introduced me to that scene in Detroit, and it like opened my eyes to like, this is something I can pursue, and this is something that I can like take seriously, and like it could work. So I went ahead and did it. But yeah, I love it out there.
That's dope. So what part of the city of Detroit are you from?
I am from the city of Southfield, actually. So it's a little bit outside of Detroit, but nobody really knows what Southfield is. So yeah. I just say Detroit, but like I have lived kind of all over. That's where I ended up living before I moved out here. But I've lived all over in like Michigan for sure, and I've actually stayed in Detroit and grew up there as well. So I got to experience, you know, what it's like in the city itself, actually. But that's where I was, you know, that's my last little landing spot, Southfield.
Straight like that.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your childhood coming up?
My childhood was, you know, it was pretty normal. Like I didn't have anything like super major or like traumatizing happen to me as a child. Like, you know, my parents got divorced, you know, but other than that, like my childhood was pretty normal and it was happy. And, you know, my parents kind of shaped me who I am today. Like my dad was really into music growing up, and my parents always listened to all these different types of like artists and such like that. That kind of got me really interested in, you know, singing music or loving, you know, what kind of sound I liked. And I really fell in love with R&B just like at a young age. We listened to a lot of gospel growing up and stuff like that. It's funny, like even how I got into performing. Like I remember my first time, my mom was like trying to get me to be in like this 4th grade play, and she was like forcing me, and I was like so nervous, and like I did not want to do it at all. But she's like, no, you're gonna be in this play. And I was like, okay. And I auditioned and I got like a little pink role, but you know, it was so much fun, and like I enjoyed being on stage. And I was like 4 feet all the way in the back of the stage. Nobody could see me, but my parents kept telling me they're like so proud of me and that I did so good. And I literally just stood there and I lived for it. I don't know, like it was just great. And ever since then, I just like had the desire to be in front of people and like perform and sing. So, you know, definitely things in my childhood shaped, you know, as well my desire and passion that I have for music right now.
Straight up. So when would you say you jumped off the porch?
Jumped off the porch, I would say like probably about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago?
Yeah.
What would you say, in your words, jumping off the porch means to you?
Jumping off the porch means like getting out there and like actually just putting yourself out there and just actually pursuing your dreams, and don't let anything stop you, and just to be unafraid to just really do what you love. Like honestly, I see so many people do a plethora of different things that they're like very successful at, and it's like the most randomest things. And I like watch TikTok a lot, and I just see like these pages full of just absolute randomness, but it like works and people love it, and like they have a platform and they like make it work for themselves. So I honestly feel like whatever people love, they should really just do. So that's what kind of like getting off the porch was for me, like finally deciding to like take that step into like following my dreams and like something that I had felt in me that I wanted to do as a child, but kind of like put away because I thought I wasn't, you know, good enough for it at the time. And like, because I just thought my voice was really soft and like there's so many strong singers, but then I've heard a lot of artists that like have softer deliveries with their songs and, you know, with their voices, and it just made it like inspired me. I would say like one artist like Victoria Monet, like she has a really beautiful and like soft voice, and I remember hearing her and like I was like, you know, maybe I can try this out, and so I did. And so yeah, long story short, getting off the porch is just taking that first step into, you know, making your dreams come true and manifesting the life that you want for yourself.
Straight up. So when would you say you started singing?
I started singing very, very young. I can't even like give you an exact like day or time or date. It's always been in me, and I always sang. And I don't know, there's like this one memory in my head that's like been stuck in my head. I don't know why. Like I remember I was in the car with my mom. We were like driving home from church, and like we were listening to some gospel song. I can't remember how it went. And I was like, you know, just singing my heart out in the car. And she like encouraged me. Like she was like, okay, baby, like I hear you. And like from there, it kind of like set something in me. I'm sorry, I'm like getting emotional thinking about my mommy. But yeah, yeah, I would say them. But like, I love my family and I miss them. And hi, mommy, I love you. I hope you're having a good day. But yeah, so at a super young age, for real.
Straight up, that's fine. Shout out Mom Dudes. So who would you list as some of your other musical influences besides Victoria Monet?
There's so many, and just even from Detroit, you know, I think the Aaliyah's there, you know, Aaliyah grew up there, and a lot of people always kind of, you know, when they talk to me, they always like bring up Aaliyah, like she was someone that was very great. I mean, honestly, just like I said, Detroit is Motown, so much talent has come from there, like the Jackson 5, you know, the Aretha Franklin's, like it's so many people that have come from there. So it's just, I think I've harnessed inspiration just from all the art and like creativity that's been around me. And like, honestly, even though I did grow up a little bit like religious, my parents did, like they had good music taste, you know, and they would like listen to R&B, like I said. And so I just always just kind of was a child that took everything in that was around me. And so music was definitely something big that was around me that I just really just took in and like just absorbed as much of it as I can, and like just try to gain inspiration from every little thing, honestly.
So when would you say you decided to take music serious full time?
Like I said, like about 2 years ago. I remember like it was so random. Like I just started putting covers on my Instagram. Like I just decided like I wanted to start doing that. And then when I like kind of made my first little song, I like put it out on SoundCloud, but I just like had this random idea in my head for like this mashup of these two songs. It was like Girl by The Internet and Break Up With Your Girlfriend by Ariana Grande. And like I was just like in the shower, and I don't know, like I just started like mixing the tunes together in my head because I always sing in the shower. And I was like, oh, this kind of sounds cool together. And I remember I hit up one of my friends and I was like, hey, I have this idea, like, can we record it? He was like, yeah, totally. And then we recorded it that night. I was super excited about it. I think we worked on it for like an hour or two, and then I like finished it and I was so proud of it. And then I like put it out on SoundCloud and people liked it and people messed with it, and people started like kind of reaching out to me and like talking with me about working with me. Like I have my friend Mir, like she was like, oh, like she reached out to me to like kind of work with me and stuff like that after that situation. And it was just cool. Like it just opened a lot of doors. And then kind of a few months after that, like into the year of 2020, around like, I think January, February, like my label found me, BNA Global Records. And they found me through a cover on my page, and they just asked me, could we work together? And they took a leap of faith with me because I didn't have any music out at the time other than that song on like SoundCloud. I was working, kind of trying to work on a song, but I didn't really have any direction for it, or like, know how to push it or know how to like really market it or, you know, put it out there. You know, I just knew I could put it on a streaming service and like hope for the best. But, you know, when I joined forces with them and they kind of took that chance with me, I released my first song like called Love Struck, and like that did, you know, pretty good, or I got a good feedback from that. I was still very much a small artist, so nobody like really knew I sang for real. Like I put that song out and there were people like, you sing? And there's even still people to this day that'll like hit me up like, I didn't know you sang. And I've been like seeming to be plastered everywhere, honestly, on the internet. But yeah, so I would say about I keep saying the same thing, but like 2 years ago, yeah, pretty much like 2 years ago. And then I started, like I said, I moved down here like a year ago and started working with Whtnoize. And like I said, we've been making bangers. You know, I just released a single, All Day, you know, that we worked on together. We probably worked on that about a year ago, honestly, but we just recently released it and it's been doing really well. We dropped the music video, had a bunch of, you know, beautiful women in there. And like, honestly, if you would have told me when I first started this, like what would be now, like I like wouldn't even be able to imagine it. And I still have a lot of work to do, but honestly, it's like crazy how I feel like my life completely turned around just those 2 years ago, you know? And I like have so much more time and like I'm very excited for my future.
That's real. So now that you're a part of being a global music group, how would you say how important it is to have a team?
I would say it's extremely important. Like it's extremely important. Like it's very possible to do things on your own, but it's also like harder that way. And sometimes not even sometimes, like all the time, having, you know, just those extra people that are there to like push you and just help you and like put me on game to things, and like they'll put me on game to people in the industry, and they'll, you know, they're just a lot of help and like coordinating things with me. And when we have like these big music videos and like things, like they're able to coordinate it for me and like get it together, and like it's very helpful because it's a lot of work that goes into it, and even like working with producers and booking studio sessions, you know, stuff like that. Like it's a lot. It's definitely a lot, and it's a lot of like, it takes up a lot of your time. It could really. So having people to like kind of take care of those things and just be like, you have this day, like be here. It's kind of like, it's helpful for me because I can be kind of ditzy. I'll be honest, I can be a little ditzy and I can be forgetful. And like, I'll wake up one day and think like, I'm chilling, like today I'm chilling. And then like somebody will remind me of something and I'm like, oh, you know, like, okay, thank you. So like, I need that personally. I need that.
That's real.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your chemistry while working with Whtnoize?
Oh, it's like off the charts. Like I feel like working with Whtnoize has been amazing. What do you feel? How do you like working with me?
I mean, I think it's awesome, man. It's new for me because as a producer, you're trying to, you know, get music to all different types of artists, and rarely do you have the opportunity to like hone in and focus on one person. And that's been kind of new. I love it because it takes me out of my comfort zone, you know, just being able to see what I can contribute to her growth musically. It's dope, man. It's dope. I like it.
So how would you say it benefits you as a producer locking in with one artist?
As far as I'm concerned, it just forces me to grow. It forces me to reinvent myself. I know that with working with one artist, when you start to develop a sound, you feel like you have to like stick to that one thing. But in reality, when we get in the studio, it forces me to be like, all right, how can I reinvent how Liv sounds? And sometimes it's challenging. Sometimes it's like, all right, well, that one ain't really hitting on nothing. Then the next one could be a banger. But it's a fun ride. I mean, honestly, for me, it just forces me to grow. That's all it does.
That's real. So how did y'all feel once y'all made All Day?
That was the first time we met, you know, to work together. And
so the first day y'all locked in, y'all made All Day?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Very first day.
Yeah, for real. So it was very crazy. So like off that, we already knew, like, I was very impressed. I was very pleased. When I worked with Whtnoize, honestly, like, he's very professional. he can vocal produce, he can write, he can produce music, like he can do everything, you know? So when we worked together that day, it was very random. Like we just had we got thrown in the studio for a plethora of hours and just kind of made that. Honestly, that took us the whole time for real, but I mean, the process was fun because like I said, I was very new to it and I was still getting the feel for how to record in the studio and like, you know, do all that and like be in that zone and like just how to navigate that and like how to like focus, honestly, because sometimes I think I have like some uncured ADHD and I can be like here and there everywhere when I'm around a lot of people. And so even when I work with Whtnoize, I always be like, I like that because it's just me and him as opposed to like being in like a crowded studio with a bunch of people. So it was a couple people in there, so I was like trying to focus and do that. But you know, he made the process very easy, very helpful. Like he mixed everything really good. I was excited like when we made it. I was vibing to it. He played me like so many different beats, and like that was the one I just happened to land up on that I really really liked. So just even off of hearing his beats, I was like excited. I was like, okay, like we're gonna do something. We could do something here.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so when can we expect the visual out shot by my boy BCP Brandon?
It is out now, actually. So if you go to YouTube at Liv Heavenly or go look up All Day by Liv Heavenly on YouTube, you'll be able to find it. It's out right now. So go check it out right now.
For
and
sure.
listen to it and watch it all day, okay? Thank you.
Let's talk about your experience opening up for Mariah the Scientist.
Okay. I mean, that was a very happy experience for me. Like, I don't know. I love her and I love her music. And like, I don't think people understand how much of a super fan I am of her personally. I don't know, like I really discovered her music. I discovered her music about like a year ago. And it's like so full circle that like a year later, like I got to open up for her. If you would have told me that when I discovered her music, I would have been like, you're crazy. Like at the time I was like, yeah, that's a whole nother question. That's a whole nother story. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm going on a tangent. But yeah, it was super cool. It was her first show, it was my first show. And like, I was like fangirling in the crowd and I was having so much fun. But like being on the stage and, you know, in front of those people for like the first time like that as Liv Heavenly, it was so much fun. Like I had so much fun. I miss doing shows, honestly. But hopefully we'll get back into them soon, you know, when the opportunity presents itself. But yeah, so great time. Always think about it. Always thinking I dreamed about it and it didn't actually happen sometimes. That's how surreal it was personally for me. I don't know. It might be a little extra, but like I would just like pinch me. And like I said, I had super fun fangirling in the crowd, singing along to like all of her songs, and then like all of her songs. And I would definitely do it again. For
sure. What about working with Jazze Pha?
Oh, he was such a vibe. Like, didn't you like work with him?
Yes. That was dope. That was a dope session.
Like, genius. He's so genius. He's so friendly. He's so like high energy the whole time. We were in there for hours, and that man was just gave us the same energy the whole time, and it was just so much fun. And like then when he like working with him was surreal, and like getting told that day that like earlier in that day that was something that was set up later that night, I was like, I can sometimes not be an expressive person, so like something can excite me and I'll be like, oh, that's cool, or you're like, oh, that's good, you know. So like sometimes I feel like people don't understand my full excitement that I actually have when on the inside I'm like, you know, like yes, like I'm just not very expressive sometimes, but like hearing that I did say, oh, that's good, but like I meant like yes, like this is so cool, like, you know, like it was really really good. And then I was a little nervous when we met up, but again he was super nice, made me feel super comfortable. And then like, you know, we knocked it out. We were in there for a couple hours, we knocked it out, made a hit. Then at the end he added his little tag in the song and I was like having a heart attack and I was like, oh my god, I got a Jazzy Pha, you know. So it was just really cool. And I'm like, again, very full circle. Like I've known of him since I was young. He's like one of the many people that I wanted to work with. Like, and when I was little, I'd be like, I want to make a song with this person, and like it happened. So I know God is like answering my prayers.
For sure, it was a real production shizzle.
Yes.
So what can we expect from your upcoming project?
For my upcoming project, I mean, I think I'm still deciding on what that's gonna be, but just expect me to at least always try to one up myself and like just be better and better and better. Hopefully soon I'll get like a little project out of like multiple songs instead of just like singles, but that'll come. I think with how well All Day's doing, like that's a good possibility that I might be able to like, you know, get enough traction to put like a nice little project out there. And then just more cool content and me doing stupid stuff on TikTok and Instagram like all the time. But you know, on a serious note, like definitely me keep working and like putting myself out there and pushing my music and just getting better as an artist and as a performer, as a singer, just a writer, any way I can. Really hone in and perfect my craft. So just expect me to just get better and better and better because I'm determined to be great. Like I don't want to be mediocre. So that's like a fear of mine, to be mediocre. And I might not be the best of the best all the time, but like I do work hard to always get better. So, and I'm going to continue to, so yeah.
No, for sure, that's solid. So what else are you working on right now?
What am I working on right now? I'm working on maybe, I don't know, I don't have anything that I super am working on right now, but something I do want to work on, I think, is maybe getting in the studio more. Just getting something, like a new song that I'm excited about. I do want to release more music because I do have a lot sitting. But what else am I working on right now? I think I'm just working on myself, honestly, just like mentally, physically, emotionally. Cause like, music stuff is very fun, but it does come with a lot of stuff, you know? And gaining traction is very exciting, but also, you know, it comes with its positives and its negatives. So it's important to just kind of be like strong and take time for yourself. And so sometimes I will be kind of selfish. I just take time for myself and just try to work on myself, you know, so I can be better as an artist and like as someone that like is praying to hopefully gain a platform. Like I want to make sure like I'm right and my mind's right, and you know, like I'm prepared for the workload, because it's not. It is fun. It is very fun, and it is glitz and glamour. But like, it could just seem like that's all it is. But it's a lot of hard work. So you know, I think working on myself right now is important, just to be stronger for my team too, and you know, keep going for them, so that you know they know their work is not in vain, and that we're gonna, you know, we're doing something good. That we're doing something good here. So yeah, I'll say working on myself.
Solid. Any last words and shout outs?
I want to shout out Detroit. I want to, you know, shout out Detroit. I want to shout out. I love. There's a couple artists there that I'm loving. I want to shout out Big Fo Peas, and I want to shout out J Rocka. Also, want to shout out La Brittany, dope. Nisha Nashay, love y'all. Like, those are just some people from Detroit that I see doing their thing, and they're like killing it, and they're going hard. Like, you know, I'm going hard, and I appreciate it. So like, definitely shout out to them. Shout out to my friends back at home. Shout out to Terry Shue. Shout out to Boontune. Shout out to Obi Ali. Shout out to Loverboy. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to my family. I love y'all. I miss y'all. You saw me getting emotional earlier about you, mommy. I miss you. Of course, shout out to my team. I love them, and I thank you. I'm very grateful to have them and thank them for everything they've been doing for me. I want to shout out Off the Porch for having me and for being such an awesome platform to get to know so many different types of dope artists, and very, very grateful that I get to be one of them. So shout out to y'all, and shout out to whoever's watching. Thanks for clicking. I'm Liv Heavenly. I hope you enjoyed listening to me blab about everything.
No, we appreciate you having me today, Liv Heavenly.
You know I'm loving you all day, all the way, the long way, the strong way, baby.